Welcome back to Based Chaos, all you lovers of pestilence and rot. Today I'm going to show you my kitbash of the Warhammer 30k Saturnine Terminators. I got a couple of them off eBay for a nice 18 quid. I didn't know what to do with them until I realized that there are lots of Death Guard spares in my combat patrol box, of which I painted nothing except for a poxwalker. So obviously, Papa inspired me to use them and summon forth two of his long-lost lords of poopies. So I made sure I used everything I can. I put together all the Death Guard Marines and took a couple of bits off them that they won't miss and used up all the spares possible. Now apologies for not recording the actual kitbashing process, but I've added what I can to show you the stages. It took a couple of days to sort these filthies out, as well as using all the spares I had. Here I added toothpicks and all sorts of Death Guard spares to put the parts together. For the big choppy chopper of the faithful, I used toothpicks for the staff and spikes on the power fist. Love how this turned out. For the other Termi, I added some resin printed little shrooms, which I thought fit nicely, and also had a little PLA printed Nurgling, which I happily added to one of the pauldrons. I had to get rid of the Aquila on the chest of both models as well after this point, but so far, looking nice. A little closer look, and yes, that is blue tack. I used it to fill the gaps to create the fleshy look. I then covered it in super glue to firm it up and it worked perfectly. I started with white primer over everything, then placing the base layers down on all the relevant parts. And I used purple on the cauldrons for contrast. I wanted a brighter color scheme than the usual flatness of Death Guard green, so I started with a striking green contrast paint. Thought this was a good point to start with. After the bright base, I calmed it down with Plague Bearer's Flesh contrast paint. Then I started layering up all the different parts of the models, bringing out the highlights and creating more contrast. Then I cover everything in an oil wash, let it dry and clean it up for the highlights. I love oil washes as they bring out that lovely grim dark nicely. Papa Nurgle's drooling right now. Then I made sure that these terminally ill termies have a nice basis to go with, so I quickly put them together with some nice plagued ground to match. Now, these two are my third and fourth ever painted minis. I did a Custodes Blade Champion as my first, then a Poxwalker from the Combat Patrol box. So I'm really happy with the turnout of these rotten, filthy lords of poopies. Painting them before my Combat Patrol box was perfect, as now I know the color scheme I want and how to do them. Loving all the details on these. The pauldrons came out nice with the purple, the Nurgling is cute as hell, and the little infected Amanita muscaria mushrooms was a simple needed for these guys. After this point, I put them together and added the finer highlights and effects like blood for the blood god and Nurgle's rot. So thank you for watching. Next time I'll film the making properly, so enjoy the reveal of Papa Nurgle's twin Saturnine brothers, PUSGRIM the OOZING and BLIGHTWEAVE the UNFLESHED. Enjoy.